Have you ever thought, what happens when you do this at a sporting event? We've all seen streakers, whether or not television broadcasts refuse to glorify their behavior, but our lasting image of these trespassers is them being led off the field by a team of security guards, sometimes police. But what happens after that? Do these people go to jail? Or do they get high fives from the staff? Or do they ever see the light of day again? Or something worse? What happens to streakers is coming up right after this. Do you know what the best way to deal with your problems is? Ignore them until they go away. No, that isn't the best way. You have to take on your problems. And if you're one of the 52% of men who experience some form of erectile dysfunction at some point in their life, the remedy to that is Roman. Roman offers a discreet process from start to finish, and you can meet with a medical provider for a convenient online visit. You and that provider can map out a treatment plan that works for you. Yeah, way better than ignoring the problem. And if appropriate, you get prescription-strength, FDA-approved treatments delivered right to your door. Even better with free 2-day shipping. With my link, treatments start for as low as $3.20. So after this video, head on over to ro.co/5pointsvids for 20% off your first order if prescribed. I've dropped the link below to make it easy for you guys. Again, that's ro.co/5pointsvids for 20% off. That's ro.co/5pointsvids. Streaking is a practice that, believe it or not, dates back to the 18th century. Well, barely. Back in 1799 in London, a man was arrested trying to run completely naked from Cornhill to Cheapside after making a bet that would have paid him 10 guineas, the equivalent of around $1,000 in our day and age. Wait, in the last 10 seconds, that figure has inflated to 1,100. That Londoner was arrested, but he became the first recorded streaker in history. It's now a staple at college campuses, Will Ferrell movies, and of course, at our beloved sporting events. Streaking doesn't necessarily have to be done naked. You can be like Morgana the Kissing Bandit and do it for no other reason than locking lips with legends like Nolan Ryan. You can do it out of sheer adrenaline, or you can do it for attention. You can do it in protest, because really, you just have to make it about you. But no matter what your reason is, you're going to spend some time behind bars, and it is going to suck. We are all generally aware that if you leave the stands and enter the field, pitch, or court, that you'll be getting a ride from the game to jail. Well, maybe the streaker didn't know that. In the United States, the official charge for streaking is criminal trespassing. Sounds a lot less fun, right? And the penalty for doing so, like many other things in our country, varies via the jurisdiction. In a state like Ohio, trespassing in a place of public amusement, like a stadium, equals a first-degree misdemeanor, which can be punished by jail time up to 6 months and fines up to $1,000. 6 months hard time for interrupting Ohio State beating up on some cupcake seems hardly worth it. That's nothing compared to the penalty for criminal trespassing in New York City, where you might be looking at a year behind bars and fines up to $25,000. So why is a state like New York so much stricter than somewhere like Ohio? It goes back to an incident from March of 2003 when fashion designer Calvin Klein got up from his courtside seat and approached Knicks guard Latrell Sprewell as he was getting ready to inbound the ball. The incident lasted the better part of a minute and Klein whispered something in Sprewell's ear, but we've never found out exactly what the designer said. I'm gonna assume he said, "Choke me like you did PJ." 7 months later, Mayor Michael Bloomberg passed the Calvin Klein bill, which set those stiff fines and year-long jail time.
Voleando la ley, por favor, protejanse y tome precauciones.
Athletes don't come to your job and tell you how to make underwear, so just leave them alone, dude. Of course, Klein probably didn't do any jail time because he's rich, but as a 17-year-old Phillies fan learned back in 2010, you can also get tased in the back if security feels like that's a better option than tackling you. Or if they, are into tasing, because that shit's kind of cool. Even more than the criminal penalties, the harshest deterrent from streaking might be a lifetime ban from your favorite team. You can walk out of jail after serving your time. You can pay off a fine, but you can never shake off that sense of regret knowing that you'll never watch your squad in their home venue as long as you live. It doesn't seem so bad if you're a Texans fan. Look, I would never endorse running onto the field, but obviously it would be better to do it on the road than at home, or in some place you'll never come back to, like, Detroit? For Cleveland Cavaliers superfan James Blair, he was not only banned for life from Cavs games, but he was banned from any and all events at the building that's now known as Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, meaning he once had to tragically miss a Justin Bieber concert. This was in 2013 in the middle of LeBron James' third year with the Miami Heat. Blair wanted to send a message, so he wore a shirt that read, "We miss you 2014, come back," and hopped onto the hardwood, greeting LeBron with his invite back to Cleveland. Security took Blair away, but LeBron got the point. Maybe that was the tipping point for him coming back to Cleveland? No, dude, it wasn't. Spoiler alert, when LeBron came back, Blair's actually now allowed back in Cleveland. When LeBron got the Cavs back to the NBA Finals in 2016, YouTuber Vitaly rushed the court with the words "Trump sucks" on his chest. Vitaly got banned from going to any NBA game in any arena for life. I mean, Trump got his Twitter account back before this dude is allowed to go to a game. He also rushed a pitch in Rio during the 2014 World Cup and had to spend a night in a Brazilian jail. According to the YouTube prankster, American police were rougher than their South American counterparts. He tried to do it again at the Super Bowl, but security was so on their game that they kept him from making it to the field despite multiple attempts. As they damn well should be. It's a Super Bowl. No fucking way I see some bullshit PETA protest while I'm being my most toxic male. Of course, that wasn't the end of Vitaly. A few years later at the Bucks-Chiefs Super Bowl in Tampa in 2021, Vitaly's high school friend Yuri Andrade actually did make it onto the field donning a pink leotard advertising Vitaly's adult website. So how did he pull it off? Andrade wasn't alone in his efforts. A second man named Decoy Doug rushed the field, grabbing the attention of security and freeing a path for Andrade to make his way to the playing surface and run free. To make matters even more interesting, Vitaly placed a prop bet on a streaker hitting the field on Bovada that would have earned him $375,000. Of course, learning that he was the man orchestrating the incident, Bovada refused the payout. Maybe he shouldn't have put his name on the leotard, huh? Vitaly masterminded, maybe that's a strong word for him, planned these incidents for clicks, but some people have what they think are more serious reasons for running onto the field. In the Monday night game between the Rams and the 49ers back in October, a streaker took the field just before halftime wielding a canister of pink smoke. One member of the security staff popped a hammy while the others chased in vain near the Rams sideline. Eventually, it was All-Pro linebacker Bobby Wagner who laid out the streaker, making perhaps one of the most crucial hits of his career. The streaker was running around the field and leaving a trail of pink smoke to bring attention to a trial for animal activists accused of stealing piglets from a factory farm. That may or may not be a noble cause depending on your stance regarding that particular issue. Hell, I don't care what you think because this is a video about streakers. But what happened after the game was a little less sympathetic on the part of the streaker. The streaker went down to the Santa Clara Police Department and filed a report saying that he had been blatantly assaulted by two Rams players, Wagner and edge rusher Takk McKinley. Wagner responded by telling the media that he was aware of the report, but he was more concerned with the security guard who got hurt trying to chase the streaker. No charges have been filed in the incident. Now, you might notice that whenever there is a streaker, the TV broadcast goes to extreme lengths not to show the hooligan. Usually, the announcer only makes scant reference to the fact that it's even happening in the first place. Well, except for Kevin Harlan, who once did play-by-play when a 16-year-old streaker, again in a Rams 49ers Monday Night Football game, took the field at Levi Stadium.
He runs to the 50. He runs to the 40. The guy is drunk.
Harlan later said that he regretted his hilarious breakdown, saying he tempted the football media gods and would never do it again. ESPN, who was carrying the game, chimed in saying they wanted no part of it. But there's no official mandate across TV networks saying that they can't show streakers. It's just an unwritten rule. Brian McCann definitely approves. Not showing it does make sense, even if it's a disappointment to audiences everywhere who want to see a drunk fan either get tased, get decked, or somehow get away scot-free, like this legend. So what did we learn in all of this? First of all, don't go streaking. Jail and a fine is a stone cold lock. But if you were to go streaking, make sure it's for a benevolent cause, like trying to get a top 3 player of all time to return to your cursed franchise. And if that player lays you out, refer to this chart.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out.
But remember, it all started with a naked Englishman traversing his native land buck naked for $1,000. I guess there's nobility in that.